there's a Trump rally over the weekend, and in it, Trump talked about, handling his political opponents. Again.
So they can't find the leaker. He leaked all about Roe v. Wade. Look, this person leaked from the Supreme Court. Never happened. You know how you find? But they don't want to mention this because they think it's so terrible. You take the writer, because you're never going to find it. They're going through phone records. It's been a long time. You take the writer and or the publisher of the paper, a certain paper that you know, and you say, who is the leaker? National Security. And they say, we're not going to tell you. They say, it's okay, you're going to jail. And when this person realizes that he is going to be the bride of another prisoner very shortly, he will say, I'd very much like to tell you exactly who that leaker. It was Bill Jones. I swear he's a leaker.
So that was at a rally in Robstown, Texas. That happened over the weekend. So, yeah. Oh, real funny. We're going to start out talking about how fucked up that was. And I talk about you're going to be the bride of somebody else, of another prisoner. Hey, prison rape, not funny. Not funny. He's making light of it, which is not a surprise, given who it is. But look, yes, sexual assault in prison is a real problem. It's not a joke. It's gross. It's a terrible violation of people's personal, bodily autonomy. Just because you're a prisoner doesn't mean you deserve to be sexually assaulted like that. That's not justice. That's not rehabilitation. That's not restorative justice. That's just simply assault. And by the way, if you're talking about that stuff, and you agree with him, look, you're giving the idea or the impression you're agreeing with the fact that you think that rape is fine. Because you don't consider prisoners to be human beings, and therefore, they shouldn't have bodily autonomy. I mean, it's disgusting. And by the way, this is something that is overlooked in prisons all over the country. And it doesn't get talked about enough. That said, the next disturbing thing that he talked about is going after the First Amendment, right? So now his whole screed was about mainly the Dobbs memo, right? And that was before the Dobbs decision had come out. There was a leak. And so we found out that the Supreme Court was likely going to overturn Roe, take away, women's reproductive rights, women, trans men, non-binary people, anybody with a uterus. That's affected by the Dobbs decision. And again, since it's happened, it's been incredibly disastrous for people all over the country. I mean, you've had situations where now doctors have to have lawyers that step in, see whether or not they can actually perform a procedure that could save a woman's life who was having a miscarriage. They have to worry about is this going to be considered an abortion? And am I going to get put in prison for it? I mean, that's serious issues. There's another woman that, had to carry around a child that was, dead. Or that was going to be, dead as soon as it was born. I mean, it's disgusting. It's horrible what they're doing. But anyway, his problem with the whole thing is, it's the leaker. It's the leaker. The leaker's the bad person here. Not the court that took away women's bodily autonomy. No, I'm totally in favor of that. Because women, lesser vessel, right? No. It's the leaker. It's the leaker. And by the way, the Dobbs memo, again, proved to be correct. But the other disturbing thing is about threatening journalists with prison time for reporting on that leak. What a journalist is actually supposed to do, that's your job, is to take the information, and yes, if it comes from a leak, it comes from a leak. Doesn't matter, it's your information, and it's in the public interest. And so, but when it comes to Trump, he doesn't believe in the First Amendment. He doesn't believe in free speech. He doesn't believe in journalism at all. He doesn't believe or care about the Constitution. The First Amendment guarantees that the government does not punish you for doing an act of journalism or political speech. Journalism, reporting, things that are very, very important, you know, to our country, to having a free society. But look, it's no surprise Donald Trump is saying these things. But let's be honest. Let's go back and kind of show that, at least when it comes to cracking down on leaks and journalists, that door was opened by the Obama administration. And of course, like anything, Donald Trump ran right through that door. And it's kind of ironic because we're talking about the Espionage Act right now. And Obama had to use the Espionage Act against journalists. And now, funny enough, the Justice Department is looking at the violation of the Espionage Act as a charge against Donald Trump for stealing documents that didn't actually belong to him and then storing them improperly at Mar-a-Lago. So again, that's very ironic. And this time, that would be the correct implementation of the Espionage Act, because he took documents that were part of national security interest home with him that didn't belong to him. But now, again, to go back to criticize the Obama administration a little bit on this, remember, they broadened this to go after whistleblowers and successfully did so. Edward Snowden revealed, some of the secret spying programs on American citizens that, of course, right-wingers love to use against American citizens. Chelsea Manning. It's another thing, revealing the collateral murder video, showing what we actually did in places like Iraq, murdering civilians. Now, Obama did do the right thing at the end of his term by pardoning Chelsea Manning. Look, the administration also had went after Julian Assange. Funny enough, Donald Trump picked that up and, continued with that case against Assange during his term. Very interesting. And now, unfortunately, the Biden administration is continuing that attack against Assange, using the Espionage Act to go after whistleblowers and leakers and journalistic outlets for doing their job. Reality Winner's another good example of that. But again, this is super ironic because Donald Trump's threatening to go after people for leaking, again, information that doesn't make him look good. What's funny, though, is why would they be mad at the leaker if they actually liked the decision in Dobbs? Remember, this is what they wanted to do. They wanted to overturn Roe. They wanted to send these decisions back to the states where Republican states, red states, were already prepared to pass and had already passed draconian anti-choice measures. I thought that's what they wanted to do. I thought that's what they wanted. I thought they liked it. Well, that really, I think, depends. Donald Trump is famous for A/B testing his audience, right? And so he'll say one thing and he'll gauge the audience reaction, and then he'll say something else, like the opposite thing, and he'll gauge the audience reaction on that, and he'll go with whatever's more popular, right? Now, in this case, the leakers, if Republicans do well in the midterms, and there's some polls that suggesting that they will, or very, very well could, well, then I'm guessing that he would probably drop this and not talk about this anymore. Because it wouldn't be like a big issue, because remember, the reason that they're worried about this for the midterms is because abortion is a very important issue. So, we could end up having a lot of women come out and, vote on a pro-choice ballot for Democrats. And there you go. That could counteract Republican enthusiasm. Don't know if that's going to happen. We'll have to wait till election day to figure it out. But if, again, Republicans, if Republicans don't win, then yeah, they're going to talk about, oh, leaker, how dare you? So we'll have to see. But again, it doesn't really make sense to target the leaker, whoever leaked this information, as, the Supreme Court made the Dobbs decision anyway. But when you're a Republican, remember, you don't really have to make sense. Because it's all about, in this case, for Trump, finding and punishing your political enemies.